People have been telling me about, I'm going to do a list that I wanted to do for a while. My top 10 favorite kid episodes. This list is hard because right now at this time, I have 16 out. Sorry I hasn't been a new one in a while. I don't have any ideas for new ones right now. So let's get through. This is the top 10 angry video game kid episodes. Number 10. Friends and the 3DS. This episode, the kid explains about two stuff. Friends and the Nintendo 3DS. This episode was meant to be a celebration of 10 episodes in under a couple of days. So what I did, I decided to do something I wanted to do in that time. Talk with friends, because in my opinion, it's one of the worst comedies of all time. Not beside anyone hating me, it's just me and the kid's opinion. So this is number 10 because the first half of the comedy is funny, but the second half it kind of loses it. Because the first half is just him talking about friends, which is funny. But whenever it gets to 3DS, he just really calms down. And the glitches in this episode were really fun as well. In a good way for kid. Number 9. The Avengers of Bayou Billy. In this episode, the kid explains that this is the worst game he has ever played in the entire NES. And it's also the same with me. I still consider it the worst game I've ever played. It's just my confusion about the episode. And this is the third episode. I was going to make the second episode, but I didn't want to be a repeater. I didn't want to do a pattern or a repeat. So that's what I did as the third episode. To make sure people know that Konami is a good company, but boy, they can turn the crap. And that's all I have to say about this episode. Number 8. The NES, or as people call it, the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now the kid talks about a video game console this time. I want to do one for the Xbox, but I'm afraid to plug it out just in case I lose everything and you won't be able to see new kid Xbox videos. Which is actually really cool because the NES was actually one of the probably the first ever consoles I got that was from the 1980s. That's the first old console I have, beside the PS3 from 2006. I mean, there's nothing to say about this episode because this episode is great because the kid talks about all the rights and wrongs about the NES. And this is just my personal opinion about this episode. And it is on number 8, but boy, we get a lot better than that. Number 7. Friday the 13th. In this kid episode, as the 13th episode, the kid plays Friday the 13th, thinking he's gonna love this game, love it. But then, he just got fooled. This is what the kid episode's about. It's all talk about brainwash. Thinking that you're gonna love something, but realize you're not going to. It's like with, when I played, the Avengers of Billy, I thought I was gonna love that game because it was action-adventured, cool background. But then I realized it wasn't cool. It was full. And that's what Friday the 13th episode is about. And it ends with the kid just getting misery from it. And it's probably my third least favorite game of all time. Sorry for all you guys who like it. Number 6. Marble Madness. This was the first kid episode as the September 14th, 2019. It's actually a good way to start the kid's anger journey by playing an NES game. Because I love the way of saying fudge instead of fuck, because it's a clever way of saying it. And the way the kid takes his anger, it's really cool. And it's a great way for the kid to start making history. Number 5. Outlast. This kid episode, the kid experienced what I consider the longest kid episode and Outlast. It's the longest kid episode, clocking in at 24 minutes straight. It was an accident. It's just, this kid episode, I couldn't skip the cutscene, so there you go. But I do say this episode is probably my favorite of the Halloween series because Outlast is one of my favorite horror games. It's not the scariest, but it is second. Just wait for number 4. Bandana and Machine. This is the latest episode and it's really good right now. It's about the kid experiencing the scariest horror game in his life. And to see the hat twist, it was a good way to change up the kid's disgusting. And I consider it one of the funniest kid episodes to date. Just seeing him with the hacker mask, the funny stuff, just so funny. Now we're in the top 3, and oh boy, these are the best episodes of my life. Number 3. Goofy Baby. In this episode, at number 3 is Goofy Baby because this kid episode is about him, the kid experiencing the horrors of Goofy Baby. Which actually me, it's still one of the worst episodes of Mickey, and it's only a bad episode of Mickey. Just can't believe how they fail so bad. I've already mentioned number 3. I'm sorry about that, I'll put that in. I don't care. So that's number 3. Ready for the final 2? This is the bronze medal. Here comes the silver. Number 2. Goat Simulator DLCs. This is a continuation to, in the title, where I take a look at the DLCs. This kid episode was so great that I wanted to put it before Bandy. But this episode is not my favorite. Now, let's get to. And the honorable mentions will be at the in the description of the video. You can go check them out for yourselves. But here we go. And finally, number 1. Super Mario Brothers. This episode is clearly awesome. It was the premiere finals of the NES library, where I review the best Mario game ever. This video was so good, I consider it the best September video and the best video of all time. It's the best kid episode of my opinion. Well, those are my picks. Thanks for watching my top 10 list. If you want to make yourself your own top 10 favorite videos, go ahead. I will change my mind in the future and make another top 10 list. But the episodes I have honorable mentions are all the rest of the episodes that weren't featured. But if you do love this list, go ahead, hit the subscribe button, go hit the notifications, and see ya in the next kid episode, which will be in a couple days.